Okay, guys, I know a lot of you have questions about simplifying radicals, and I don't necessarily like the way that the textbook author explains it, so hopefully this will help a little bit. Um, so some numbers are perfect square roots. Like, for example, if you look um, over here, I've inserted perfect square roots. I've also put in some cube roots and fourth roots and so on. Just so you'll have some of those in front of you. A lot of you are familiar with square roots, not necessarily cubes and fourths and stuff. But you know, if you're just using one of these numbers on the left side of this chart, that's fine. You just automatically get your answer. But if you have a number like this 75 that doesn't have a square root, you can still simplify it, and you will not use a decimal. What you're going to do is we're going to see what does have a square root that goes into 75. So if you look over here at this list right here, you want to use the largest one. And so if we look, 25 goes into 75. So we actually break this down into 25, because 25 has a square root and it divides into 75. And 25 times what is 75? And that's 3. Okay, the purpose of that is because now we know that the square root of 25 is actually 5. And then you leave the square root 3, and that's your simplified form. This means 5 times square root 3. We just don't put the multiplication symbol in the middle. So that's kind of how you're gonna simplify all of these. So I know someone asked about, for example, the cube root of 189. Since it's a cube root, you're going to use the cubes. So you come over here, look at these numbers. We have 8, 27, 64, 125 that are all cube roots. So if you look at those and start trying to divide, what goes into it is this 27. So we're going to break this down. You do need to pay attention to the root because that makes a difference. We do cube root of 27, and 27 goes into 189 7 times. Okay, then we simplify the cube root of 27. We know according to this chart that that is equal to 3. And 7 doesn't have a cube root, can't simplify it anymore, so that is the answer. So hopefully that helps, a little bit. Just let's do, maybe one or two more. Let's say we have the square root of 32. Okay, we're still looking now at square roots, and we're trying to see what goes into 32 that has a square root. So again, you want the largest one. So if we look at this, yes, 4 goes into 32. Okay, but that's not the largest number that goes into it that has a square root. 16 actually is. So I'm going to use 16. So I'm going to split this into 16, and 16 times 2 gives me 32. Square root of 16 is 4. So we end up with 4 square root of 2. Okay. If you don't use the largest number, what happens is you have to break it down again, which is fine, but it adds extra steps. So I always try to encourage you to make sure you use the largest number first. So I hope this helps. If you have more questions, just let me know.